Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Sir, if you are elected president in 2008, what would be your first act with regard to the war on Iraq?
I would announce that within a 12-month period, I would withdraw the American troops from Iraq. However, I would use the leverage of that withdrawal to push for two very strong diplomatic engagement initiatives, which I think are essential to preserve Iraq and our interests in the region. One would be a reconciliation conference of the three religious groups, the Shia, the Sunni, the Kurds, into a coalition government, sharing of oil revenues, perhaps a division, a tripartite division of Iraq, not necessarily into three countries, but three confederations, headed by an Iraqi federal government. And then, as a companion to that, I would have a security conference that would involve Iran, Syria, that would involve nations like Egypt, Turkey, Saudi Arabia to deal with the future of Iraq, reconstruction, and at the same time, security. How do you preserve security? We can't just withdraw without a diplomatic engagement plan, and I would use the leverage of that withdrawal to engage in those two critically important areas. Otherwise, I believe there would be a dramatic breaking up of the country, more civil war, more sectarian conflict. The options are limited because the Bush administration right now is pursuing 20,000 more troops. That's going to add to the turmoil, to the harm to the American troops, and to a situation which right now is really untenable. So my plan would be one of engagement coupled with building regional support for an American withdrawal, but also a chance for Iraq to survive.
For about the next 25 minutes, we're going to be talking with Governor Bill Richardson, Democrat of New Mexico, about his candidacy for president, the Iraq War, and other issues in the news. If you want to get involved in the conversation, the numbers are there on the screen, 202-737-0001 for Republicans, 202-737-0002 for Democrats. Independents can call us at 202-628-0205, and we have a special line for New Mexico residents only this morning, 202-628-0184. Governor Richardson, you wrote a op-ed piece in Saturday's Washington Post, the headline, "Diplomacy, Not War with Iran." Coupled with your explanation about what you wanted to do in Iraq, it sounds like you want to take more of a carrot approach to dealing with the situation in the Middle East than a stick approach. Would that be a correct assessment?
Well, no. I would use a carrot and stick approach. That's diplomacy. What I would do is I would pursue a policy. First, you try to deal with the issue diplomatically. You negotiate. The second step would be perhaps, if negotiations don't work, you use sanctions, you use other measures of collaboration among countries to put pressure on either Iran or Iraq. But my point in that op-ed is that I believe the key to resolving the issue in Iraq is a very tough negotiation with Iran. I believe that America and Israel cannot afford to have an Iran with nuclear weapons. I believe you deal with that in a negotiation. And thirdly, Iran is a major oil supplier, and what leverage we have over Iran is twofold. One, Iran does not want to lose its oil revenue. It doesn't want to get sanctions from the United Nations. The UN Security Council is about to possibly initiate sanctions today against Iran because they're not complying with their nuclear weapons directive from the Security Council. So my whole point is that you use engagement and negotiation. You sit around a table and you negotiate and you deliver very tough messages. When you negotiate, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're offering carrots. The assumption is that sitting down with somebody is a carrot. It isn't. But what's the alternative? The president is proceeding with saber rattling. The Pentagon has drawn up military plans. This is not wise policy. I believe what we need is a regional solution. You can't deal with Iraq without dealing with the Israeli-Palestinian problem. You can't deal with Iraq without dealing with the overall problems with Hezbollah and Hamas and the need for a Middle East peace process. So I would like to bring all parties, NATO, Muslim countries, in a framework that deals both with the American withdrawal, but also with a negotiation for Iran not to develop nuclear weapons and be for a more stable region. And then lastly, a preservation of Iraq's territorial integrity and a plan for Iraq's security future.
Our first call for Governor Richardson comes from Hinesville, Georgia this morning on our line for Democrats. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Governor, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Governor, I've been a Democrat my whole voting career, and the one thing that worries me about the 2008 election is that not too many people know who you are. And I've been following you since you were in the Clinton administration. I know your experience, and I know that you are going to make a great candidate and a great president. My question is, how are you going to be able to reach out to the people that are on the far left of our party when I see you as being in the center of a lot of issues and being more mainstream and being able to reach out to independents and gather other voters? And my other question would be is, it scares me a lot that for some reason Hillary running, it just scares me, and I just think it's going to unite the right or the Republicans to vote against her, as to where someone like yourself that's more mainstream, more center, is going to be an excellent candidate, and you have my support, sir.
Well, that's very kind comments. I appreciate them, especially so early in the morning. Let me just say that this is a long campaign. We've got 10 months to go. I'm moving up in the polls. Sure, right now I don't have the same resources or visibility of the other candidates, but we're making a lot of progress. I've been in Florida. I'm going to be in Georgia next weekend. My point is that I believe that after the American people and the primary voters, especially in New Hampshire and Iowa, Nevada, South Carolina, that are the crucial first four, see that, as you said, I have the background. I have the foreign policy experience. I believe I have the most foreign policy experience. I've been a governor. I've balanced budgets. I've increased access to health care. I've been to Iraq. I've been to the Middle East. I was UN ambassador. I was Secretary of Energy, which gives me a perspective to deal with how can we reduce America's dependence on foreign oil. And so I believe the American people are very wise. After debates, after we're out kind of duking it out in terms of issues, and I think we got to stay positive. And this gentleman, I think, made a very good point that we should stay positive. And I feel confident. I'm moving up. I've been in the race a month, and it's a marathon. And so I'm encouraged with where I am at this point. I believe as a governor, I'm the only governor left. Historically, the American people elect governors, Presidents Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton. And so history is a little bit on my side. And then lastly, in the Democratic primaries, I bring a region, the West, that I believe is poised to become even more Democratic. Arizona, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico. These are states that previously had not been in the Democratic column and very much are moving in that direction. So that's what I believe I bring to the race, the most experience, the most background. I've been in the arena. I've done all these things all these other candidates talk about they're going to do. They voted this way. Well, I brought jobs to New Mexico. We've got close to 84,000 new jobs. We got a balanced budget. Our economy is moving very much in the right direction. We brought renewable energy companies to the state.
Governor, let's take this call from Roswell, New Mexico. Good morning.